What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am on a little bit of a commute this morning. I'm headed to see my mom, then I'm going to leave from there and go see Granny, and then I'm going to go see Mama and Pawpaw. It's Mother's Day weekend at the time of this recording, so I just wanted to spend the day going and seeing them and spending some time with them. There's been a lot going on in life, and I figured that I would use this opportunity to kind of brief y'all on some things that I can remember anyway. There's been so much going on. First of all, I've been a little under the weather. I've been struggling with some sinus issues lately, and it seems like it's been going on for a couple of weeks. I'm the world's worst when it comes to sinuses. I'm afflicted in that area, but I think I'm almost over it. I feel like if I could just get a few more days and a few more little pills of medication, that I'll probably be good then. So that's been one thing that's been going on. It's been raining a lot here in South Mississippi. We've been in like this pattern where, now it's not raining right now, but it literally just stopped a few minutes ago. Something in my eye while I'm driving. That's really good. Glad about that. But there's been like this certain type of storm system that's been just lingering over the area, and it has rained literally for just days and days. But right now we got a little bit of a reprieve. I hope that it'll kind of hold off. It's supposed to continue until Monday, but I hope that it'll just hold off. That would be ideal because, wow, everything is quite wet. So I've really been enjoying making content lately, particularly the podcast. I've been really I've had a fire under me about this podcast, man. It's been so much fun to schedule and get guests coming in, spending time with those guests. I actually posted on Facebook recently that, you think about this. Think about, when was the last time that you were able to just sit down with someone for an hour and just talk? You know, no phones, no interruptions, no agenda, no rush to like get out of the situation. When's the last time you had a chance to just sit down with somebody and just talk for an hour or more, maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours? We really don't get a whole lot of that in this day and age, it seems like. Or at least I don't. We do not get a lot of it, Sarah and I. And a lot of people in this area don't, for sure. But it's so nice to have an opportunity, and for me that opportunity has turned out to be the podcast. To have this opportunity I'm gonna get somebody scheduled. We're both going to work it into our schedules, and we're just gonna sit down and just talk. Now, of course, it's becoming content. There happens to be mics there, but that doesn't take away from the experience of the actual conversation. We really enjoy, I really enjoy being able to just sit down and talk to people like that. Like I was able to recently spend time with my brother. I was able to talk to one of my buddies that I never get to talk to in that way, like Officer David Twiner. Me and Sarah have been able to sit down and talk about stuff, and it's just like, even us, like we live in the same house, and we don't really get a lot of time to let's just sit down and just talk. And that is something we've been talking about. Like we want to be intentional about making more time to do that, even outside of the podcast. So that's something that we're working on. But it's just nice to be able to do that. And for me, the podcast is that's one of the things I love about podcasting, is you get to just sit down and talk to people, and there's really no rush. There's no agenda other than, hey, let's just talk. Let's just sit down and talk, and the mics will be on, you know. In fact, there's been times in the past where I've had guests who have been like nervous, and I understand that because it's kind of a new thing for them. But I've even told them, hey, it's just like we always talk, but this time there will be microphones. It's the same thing, and people do quickly settle in, and it becomes more comfortable for them. But yeah, I've been really enjoying that. I've actually been thinking of different things of how I could go about doing videos as well. Obviously, I said from the beginning that this channel is not, the intent is not to do like weekly videos or anything at a certain schedule, but I do enjoy making them, and I do want to continue to put them out for y'all. It's just really been a time thing But there's even been times where I could have had a video, but something went wrong with shooting. For example, I had started working on a video that was a week in the life. I'd even posted on the channel that I was working on a video, and I couldn't wait to share it with y'all. And the plan was I'm going to show what a week in the life is like, because for me, I go to work and there's a lot of things that happen at work that, again, I can't show and I can't talk about. But then after that, it's like there's so many things that happen from week to week with the church and different responsibilities we have. And I was going to showcase that, but so much of my time is spent at work that the content just wasn't there. And I tried to make it work, and I think there is a way to do it. I'm just going to have to do it differently than the way that I had tried it. So that video never did come together. So that created a little bit of a longer gap than what I originally wanted. But yeah, I've been enjoying creating content. I've been doing this thing on Instagram where I've been posting weekly photo dumps. So far they've been weekly. That's been a little bit easier to do, because as I've been living life and as I've been seeing things that catch my attention, I've been trying to be intentional about taking a picture, capturing that moment, and then at some point during the week, usually like Monday or Tuesday, I post a photo dump on Instagram. And I've actually received feedback on that people have been enjoying it, that it's been a fun account to follow and this and that. So that's been encouraging to know that people are enjoying it. But it's just been fun to create content. I really like getting my wheels turning and coming up with ideas, and it's just been a lot of fun. But man, I love podcasting so much, y'all. I really do. I love podcasting. It's one thing that happened recently that was absolutely insane. Is so Spotify is a big player in the podcast world. They purchased this app that back in the day, it started off as an app. It was called Anchor, and it started off as this app where it was the easiest, most affordable, and by that I mean freest way to start a podcast. You could do it without this big fancy setup. You could do it on your phone. You could create a podcast on your phone. You could do the whole thing just on your phone. That was Anchor's like big selling point, and it worked. A lot of people started podcasts because of Anchor. I was able to start my podcast on a different service, but I was able to move it over to Anchor whenever I found it, because wow, it was just so easy, and it was so nice to be able to upkeep it there and everything, and it was free. Anchor was amazing. Well, then Spotify buys it a couple years ago, and since they've bought it, it's been, there's been a few things they've added to it that have been nice, but for the most part, they've really ruined it, in my opinion. There's so many things that are just not good. Even the app itself, first of all, they changed the name of it from Anchor to Spotify for Creators, which, okay, whatever. But they've made the app is so buggy and glitchy now. Their website is borderline unusable. Like if you're trying to upload an episode or edit details or something, I literally the other day I was uploading an episode of Pray Before Chips, and it just completely, it glitched and just everything went away. I had to re-upload the file, retype in the title, redo the description, like everything just went away. And it is so finicky and like, it's just not good. I do not endorse it at all. But Spotify's been doing these changes. They've been making all these changes to the world of podcasting. Well, the most recent one that they've come out with is they have decided that what would be a good idea for them to do is make it to where on Spotify, if you're listening to podcasts or if you're browsing podcasts or whatever, they're going to start showing how many plays each episode has. Now, if you're a creator, you can see how many plays you have on the back end of like your analytics and stuff. It's kind of like YouTube, but you can't see how many subscribers you have, but you can see how many plays you have. Well, now the number of plays that you have is going to be available for everyone to see, and it's only the number of plays that you have specifically on Spotify. So if you have, let's say you have a podcast and you put out an episode and it gets 1,000 plays, okay, we'll say, I don't know, 10 of those were on Spotify. It's going to show that your episode has 10 plays because that's how many plays it has on Spotify. Horrible idea, because people tend to gravitate towards what's trending, the big things. Like, that's why there's a trending section on YouTube. People want to check out what's trending. That's why Instagram Reels shows you Reels and TikToks and stuff that are trending. Like, here's what's hot right now. Here's what people want to see. And if you're lucky and you put out something small, you can become like a bigger, more viral thing. But it takes a lot of luck, honestly. It really does. Your content can be great. Your audio quality can be great. Talking about podcasts, your audio quality can be great. The topic can be great. The production quality can be great. But if nobody sees it, if nobody is aware of it, and they don't give it a chance and listen to it, and especially if they don't share it, then you're not going to get any traction. Your podcast is going to just remain at this low level. I've been podcasting since 2018, and I've never had an episode like blow up or go viral. I've put out some good stuff, y'all. I've put out some stuff that I'm really proud of and have had some amazing guests on. It's been so fun, and it is so fun. But people just aren't aware, and that even so much of advertisement is just about that, like the value of awareness, you know. But anyway, they decided they were going to show how many plays you get on Spotify. Well, the podcasting community became very vocal about this. Now, you've got some who are saying it's a great idea. They think it's great. And I'm sure that if you're a big creator and you have lots of listens and plays and stuff, I'm sure it is great, because it's almost like a flex for you that you didn't really opt into. It's just something that happened. It's just going to be displayed that you have all these plays. But if you're a smaller creator, then, excuse my Crocs squeaking on my floor mat. But if you're a smaller creator who is trying to get things up and going, people are probably going to be deterred by the fact that, oh, well, this has less than 1,000 plays, or this has less than, well, this thing only has 5 plays. Like, I'm not going to waste my time listening to that. That's just human nature. That's the way people are usually. Not everyone's like that, but, you know, in a general sense, we tend to gravitate towards what's most relevant. That's why relevancy is sought after so much, because that's what people gravitate towards, especially in the world of creating content. So anyway, I had an opinion about this, and I decided that I was going to share that opinion on a post that I saw on Threads. And people were talking about it, and I just made a thread that said something along the lines of, I don't understand why they're doing this. It seems like that they very much do not have the little guy in mind. Or I said something to that effect, and that was the message I was trying to get across. Well, a few hours later, I get a DM on Instagram, and it is from this reporter who is with NBC News, and she is doing a story on this update that Spotify has rolled out, and she saw my comment on Threads, and she decided that she wanted to reach out to me and have a chat with me about what I thought about the update and how I thought it might affect my podcast. And I had to look into it at first, because I was like, is this legit? Like, is this really a reporter with NBC News? Well, it was, and I did do the phone interview with her, and she did include me in her article. She said like my name, the name of the podcast, she sort of what I said, the quote. We had a 15-minute conversation, and there's one quote by me, and it's kind of like she took a few things and put together, which is fine. I wouldn't say that I was misquoted. It just wasn't said in the way that I speak, really, but it's fine. It's okay. Anyway, that was really cool to have Pray Before Chips mentioned in an NBC News article. I don't know how many readers that she gets. I'm sure it's a lot, just because it's like an official news site and stuff. But wow, it was pretty crazy that happened. That wasn't something I expected to happen. And yeah, that was a really cool highlight. I was so excited to tell Sarah about it. I called her, told her about it. She was so excited for me. I told my friends, my family. I put it on Facebook. Like, I'm over here just telling people about this article. In fact, I'll link the article in the description if you want to read it and just see what's going on. Even if you just want to go see the part that I'm in, then it's there. It was really cool. It was just cool to have like such an official acknowledgement of Pray Before Chips. Been talking to some guests that are, there's a couple of them that are pretty high profile. I'm trying to get that worked out. One of them is pretty close to being worked out. I've reached out to some that I haven't heard back from yet, but I remain hopeful. You're always going to get no answer if you don't even ask. So you might as well shoot the shot and see what happens. Who knows, you might get something out of it. But so that's what's been going on really with the podcast. Just been really enjoying it. Sarah and I remain very busy at the church. We're planning this community service that's going to take place in the park very soon. I'm so excited about this service. We got a good committee that's helping us do it. Team we got together that's going to help us pull this off. I'm just excited to serve the community. We don't have an agenda. We're not going to be, forcing our church down anybody's throat or anything like that. This is just like, look, we're just trying to just let us get together and be with you and love you. And if you do want to come to our church, fantastic. We would love to have you. But if not, we're here now together. And we just want to get out there and serve the community with this service. There's going to be stuff for the kids, stuff like there's going to be some live music. It's going to be a night of worship, a short devotion at the end. I'll be giving that. I'm just very excited, very much looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time. Another thing that's been happening is planning for our anniversary trip. We were going to go to DC. I know that Sarah told some of you about this in one of her videos, but we were going to go to DC. I want to go one day. I just don't know. I'm very nervous about going to DC. I don't know why that is, but just very, very nervous about that. I've never been anywhere like that, which I'm down to go. Like, I really do want to experience it. The day and age we live in, I don't know, I'm just nervous about going there, just to be honest with you. But when this opportunity came up to go to Magnolia instead and see Forrest Frank in concert, Forrest Frank and Switchfoot at the Silos in Magnolia, we went to the celebration a couple years ago and it was great. We loved it. And for that to be where we go on our 10th wedding anniversary and see Forrest Frank, that's going to be phenomenal. I cannot wait. I literally cannot wait. It's going to be so fun. We've got a playlist created that we're going to be listening to, that we have been listening to. I've been listening to it. It's something I'm looking forward to so much that I can't, like, every now and then I'll just think about it and I'm like, oh my word, I cannot wait for that. We're very excited about going that. I can't believe it's been almost 10 years since we've been married. It does not feel like 10 years. It just doesn't. I don't know. I can't believe, like, it seems like it just went by so fast. It just doesn't seem like 10 years. It really doesn't. I love my wife to death, and I can't imagine life without her. And the fact that the past 10 years we've been together is crazy to think about, because it just does not feel like 10 years. One thing's for sure, it's been the best 10 years of my life. My life has been greatly enriched by my wife. I've learned a lot from her, and I hope that she's learned a lot from me. We complement each other so well. She's perfect for me. I love her so much, and I could talk about that forever. I won't. She's my sweetness, and I love her, and she's going over to see her mom today. She went to Louisiana. I wish that all of our family lived closer so that we could go see everyone together all in one day, or even over the span of a couple of days, but that's where she's at today. So we decided that she would go over there to see her mom and her family. I'm going to see mine, and I'm looking forward to seeing them. Let's see, what else has been going on? Oh, one thing that I've been doing that's kind of it's just something that seems like it's never ending, and maybe it will be never ending, but I've been challenging myself to certain health-related challenges. Recently, the most recent one was we did a week of no sugar. The first thing I did was fail. Now, in my defense, it was the first day we were working, and it was really hot that day, and my cousin was nice enough to buy me a Gatorade. I wasn't going to buy one. I really didn't have I wasn't going to spend the money on a Gatorade, but he bought me one, and they didn't have sugar-free, and I needed something, so I just drank the Gatorade. And also, I kind of low-key forgot that I was doing it, but with all that being said, I failed on Monday, but the rest of the week, I was good. I had no sugar. I did start to get the headaches around Wednesday-ish, like Wednesday, Thursday. But, and then it was so funny. We went to a meeting Thursday night at the church. It was a big executive council meeting. And I'm over here having like sugar headaches. I'm not feeling well. I wasn't feeling bad. It was just like, the inconvenience of the headaches. And, on the tables where they made like this big square of multiple tables put together, and on the tables they just have candy just strode on these tables, like just, hey, take whatever candy you want, graze as we have this meeting. And I sit down, there's just all this candy in front of me, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. And some of my friends were kind of like, come on, man, like, have your bag of skills. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. That type of thing, whenever I set a goal and I stick to it, really makes me feel better about myself. It really does a lot for me mentally. The physical aspect of it, I'm going to be honest with you, after only a week, I didn't feel super better. I mean, I didn't feel bad to begin with, but I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, I feel amazing. I haven't had sugar in 5 days. I felt fine. I felt fine before I started. So, anyway, that's neither here nor there, but mentally, I felt great. When I am able to set a goal and stick to that goal, despite temptations or whatever, it really helps me a lot mentally. Sometimes I can be hard-headed. If you don't believe me, just ask my wife. And it can be a flaw, but it has also served me well and has kept me out of a lot of trouble throughout my life. If I just decide that this thing is not an option, then it's just not going to happen. I'm not going to do it. And there's been times in the past I've not been proud of that, and I wish I could go back and change certain instances where I've taken that stand and wound up, causing more trouble than anything. But it has also served me well, like I said, where I can decide that, you know what, for this next week, I am not eating candy. I am not going to have a Reese's paired beautifully with a Sprite Zero, nice crispy Sprite Zero. I am not going to do it. And it works. I'm able to, by the grace and help of God, I'm able to just decide I'm not going to do something, or that I am going to do something, or what have you. So for my next one, I've been thinking about this week, trying to only drink water again. I've done this before several times. I feel better mentally when I only drink water. There's a whole conversation about, how the regular soda is better for you than diet sodas, and then you shouldn't drink the zeros because of this reason. You shouldn't drink soda at all because of this reason. I've heard all that. I understand all that. The fact is, people drink soda. Most people drink soda. I have always loved soda, and it is really difficult to get away from it because it is addicting. You call it what you want. It is addicting. Sugar is addicting. But even the sugar-free, it's just, I love that crispiness of a nice soda water. Oh my word, it is so good, especially with a meal. Man, it's great. So it's a good thing for me to break away from that often and just drink water. And I have been consciously making that decision here lately and feeling really good about it. Specifically, like what happened the other night. I went and got some food from somewhere, And normally what I would have done would have been, I'm going to get this food, but I'm also going to get me a drink, like a carbonated beverage. I didn't. I just got the food and went home knowing that there were no drinks at home and I was only going to drink water. And so that's what I did. And that kind of stuff just helps me. It helps me feel better about myself. It helps me feel more confident. I'm encouraged whenever I'm able to do that. And that's a big thing for me. I have to sometimes, and me and Sarah talked about it on a recent episode of the podcast, but sometimes I do struggle with confidence, and I struggle with, I am my own worst enemy. Like, my mind is, I'm so critical of myself a lot of times, but if I can get that under control, and if I can begin to feel a certain way about myself, it really helps me in the way that I even come off to others. The Bible says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Like, if you walk around just every day thinking that you're just garbage, I mean, you're going to eventually just begin to embody being garbage-like. I mean, if you walk around every day thinking that you're a failure, you're probably going to start to really become a failure. Like, you're going, because that's what you think you are. And I've always struggled with that. And so if I can do things that combat that, and there are things that I have learned do combat that, I feel better about myself whenever I set a goal and I stick to it. I feel better about myself whenever I just do the hard thing. Don't put it off, just do it. There's many things that I do like that. I think I've talked about that before, maybe even on this channel. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with stuff, and looking forward to doing the no water. Looking forward to doing the no soda thing again, because that seems to be a big one for me. If I were to just snap my fingers and make things just the way I want them to be, I wish that I just didn't drink soda at all. I really wish that I didn't. I'm just not strong enough yet. I just love a good little soda pop every now and then, and maybe I'll get there one day. But I tell you, one thing that really helps me too is thinking about things in the way, and I've learned this from Dr. John Deloney, he's a doctor that he's part of the what's it called? He's a Ramsey personality at Ramsey Solutions, like Dave Ramsey's group and team there. He does a podcast about like your relationships, your mental health, stuff like that. And people call in, and he's able to help them with whatever they're going through and whatnot. And one thing that he talks about doing that has really helped me is you have to say to yourself, like, whatever you're trying to do, it has to become part of your identity. Like, you can't just say, I'm not going to drink soda today. You have to say to yourself, I am someone who does not drink soda. I'm a person who does not drink soda. Or I'm a person who does not whatever. I'm a person who does not XYZ. I'm a person who does this. Like, it becomes part of your identity, who you are. I'm a person who gets up and prays in the mornings. It's not an option. I'm a person who gets up and reads his Bible. I'm a person who goes to work and does the best that they can. When you tie it into with who you are, it becomes deeper and it becomes more effective. And I have found that is harder, but it is more helpful. And I endorse, thinking about it. I've even taken the time to write things down in my phone. And now I'm also, that's another thing I talk about, transition into notebooks. But I begin to write these things down of, I am a person who, ... and I write it out. I'm a person who does this. I'm a person who does not do this. I'm a person who does this. And it helps. It really does. But speaking of that, notebooks. I have added a notebook to my everyday carry. I carry around a little field notes book in my pocket, and what I've been using it for is just writing things down throughout the day. And it has been so nice. It's helped me, again, from Dr. John Deloney. He talks about sometimes what you need to do is, like, if you're feeling anxious or if you're feeling angry or feeling, whatever, anything negative, it's really good to write that down and get that out of your body. It's in your head, and it's rolling around in your head and in your thoughts and this and that and the third. write it down and put it on paper, get it out of your body in that way. And that helps too. There's been so many things that I'm just going to go ahead and write this down. And you don't really, it's not like you feel a rush, a cooling sensation come over you, and that is just leaving your body. But what you find is you will eventually be, days down the road and realize, oh wait, I haven't been thinking about that anymore. I haven't been dwelling on that anymore. And then you remember, or for me, I remember and realize I wrote it down a few days ago. I got it out of my body, and I'm no longer thinking about that thought. That thought is on the page. And so I've been really enjoying that. Like I said, to the point where I've been carrying around a notebook in my pocket. It's sweat resistant and all that, so it's been really good. And I've been able to just write things down, and I use it to make to-do lists. I use it to write down my thoughts. I use it for literally anything. It's not like just a journal that I've used it for everything, and it's been really good. I have really enjoyed that. I've been watching YouTube videos about it, and there's a lot of people who do that. And now I'm one of them. It's really fun. I really enjoy having that option, and there's something about too just stopping and taking the time to write something down. I don't know. I think I can tell that I'm getting older, and things that used to really excite me and that I used to just be so into have really lost their shine. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean in a good way. Like I used to be just obsessed. I would just love technology, and I do like it, don't get me wrong, I like tech, but when everything became so focused around AI and things of AI, it really just dampened it and lost its luster with me. And so I found myself gravitating towards like, I'm gonna go back to, I'm writing things down. I'm using I like a nice pen. I like a nice notebook. Of course, I've always loved notebooks, but you know what I'm saying? Like, those things are not as important as they used to be. And I've really been enjoying it. I've just been really thankful for life lately. I've been choosing. Earlier this year, I experienced a lot of anxiety about things. I was going through a lot mentally, and didn't always show that or talk about that or stuff, but I was going through a lot that the Lord has really helped me with. And I think that a lot of the things that I've talked about are the tools that He's used to help me with it. The Lord is absolutely capable of just snapping His fingers and just taking and just fixing whatever you got going on. He is able to do that, and He just might. But a lot of times there's a process that there's steps for you to take. There's things that you need to do in order to get to that place. And not gonna lie, there's been times where I have my days, I have days where it's like, man, today's a rough one. But rather than just, because what I used to do is like, I would just kind of just accept, well, this is just where I'm at. I'm just upset today. I'm anxious today. I'm worried today, whatever. I value peace so much that now I'm just like, I've got to at least try to fight this. I've got to try to talk to somebody. I've got to try to write this down, write out what I'm feeling, what I'm looking for right now. I should word that differently. What I've done, good grief, that was hard to get out. What I've done recently is I have spoken with a man that I really look up to a lot. And he is taking me on, and I am taking him on as like an official mentor. Just someone that I can talk to and get advice from. And Dave Ramsey says, if you want to be skinny, you need to find out what skinny people are doing and do that. If you want to be rich, you need to find out what rich people are doing, and you need to do that. Well, this man, he's not a perfect man by no means. He would be the first one to tell you that. But he's a godly man. He's a very, very good man that I look up to. And I've always, since I've known him, I've always wanted to be like him. So I need to talk to him and find out what he's doing. and find out, like, hey man, how do you navigate these types of situations? What do you do when you're anxious? Like, what do you do when you're, feeling alone and don't have anyone to talk to? Like, what are you doing? And just I told him, I was like, bro, I need a mentor. I need you to just straight up take me in and just teach me, just mentor me. So I'm very excited about that. We're going to be meeting together very soon for the first time, and I cannot wait to just sit down and talk with him. It's going to be amazing. So, well, I think that's about it, y'all. I really don't know what else. I'm sure I'll think of something later, but I think for right now, that's going to be it. I'm about to be pulling up to Mom's here in just a few minutes. So thank you so much for riding along with me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that I said something that maybe helped you, made you laugh, made you think, or something. Nothing else. At least we got to hang out for a while. So thank you so much for doing that. Check out the podcast. Link to that in the description. Check out the article. Link to that is in the description. And look, just be kind to yourself, okay? You got this. The Lord's got you. You got this. You can handle anything with his help. Just felt like saying that here at the end. But I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, be blessed.